Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Tamina Mushtaq and today my presentation topic is about thematic analysis of the play with the use of stylistic devices. And the play which I have selected is Oedipus Rex by Sophocles. And the theme for the thematic analysis is fate. Let's start with the writer's introduction. Sophocles. Sophocles was one of the great Greek tragedians whose work has survived. Sophocles produced his work of Oedipus Rex around about 450 BC. He wrote about 123 plays, but only 7 survive today in complete form. He was mostly awarded playwright in Dionysia. A competition was held in Dionysia for the city state of Athens. Actually, he awarded mostly there. And one thing which I want to share more is he plays an important role on the development of drama by adding third actor and extend it. And let's move towards writer's intentions in the play. In the text of Oedipus Rex, the author Sophocles intends to highlight the belief that future is determined by the gods, and he does this by utilizing Oedipus's character, and he does this by condemning his actions. He does this by emphasizing the role of chorus as a voice of reasoning, and he does this by representing the views and values of public at that time, and he does this finally by highlighting Oedipus's fall from grace. If we talk about Aristotle's viewpoint, then we came to know in the eyes of Aristotle, this play is a complete tragic story of a hero who tries to deceive his fate but fail again and again. According to him, it's an ideal tragedy of Greek time, which shows a tragic hero should possess his fatal flaws, which finally led him to his destruction. Actually, this play is based on Greek concept of fate, in which a predestined child suffer hardship during whole of his life, generated by his tragic fate. Now we will talk about Sophocles and Greeks' belief about fate. For Sophocles and Greek people, fate means the foretelling of what will happen. It's an essential part of Greek culture and storytelling. In Greek plays and short stories, characters are faced to exercise their will. We see characters are faced to exercise their will, but their freedom is tied with their destiny. There was a Greek philosophy that someone's fate is predetermined and unchangeable, and it should be accepted because ultimately it cannot be avoided. And it was also believed that no one is capable of changing anything, means no one is capable of changing his or her fate. Role of fate in Oedipus Rex. It is used as antagonist and it is deeply intertwined in the plot. Fate Fate is responsible for Oedipus's incest and many of the other critical and devastating events of the play. Actually, this play shows that how man is how man is powerless in front of his fate. Let's talk about the events occurring fate. We see in the start Oedipus sends Creon to the temple of Apollo in order to find the fate of Thebe, in order to find the future of Thebe. We can say that in order to find the murderer of King Laius. In the start, we see that he was so anxious to find the murderer of King Laius. Creon suggests him that it should not be explained or exposed publicly, but he did not listen to him. Tiresias saying, when Creon goes toward Apollo, then Tiresias reveals that Tiresias alludes to the fact that Oedipus unknowingly married her mother and produced offspring through her. Oedipus was too blind to comprehend what the Tiresias is saying. Tiresias goes on says that I pity you flinging at me the very insults each man here will fling at you so soon. Tiresias Tiresias warned him that he will lose everything, that what he thinks it's not real, and uh, the people who are with him now, they will turn against him. And Tiresias says to Oedipus that he does not know where he is living, who his parents are, and he further says that he is both father and sibling to his children. When he says that, and a crowd of other horrors and had never dreamed will level you with yourself and all your children. And he further says that this day will bring your birth and your destruction. In the final speech of Tiresias, he says that Oedipus is the murderer, and he says that Tiresias says that Oedipus consider himself a stranger to Thebes, but he will soon discover that he is a native Theban, and he will soon discover that he is both the father and brother to his children, and a son and a husband to his wife. Tiresias foretold that he will lose everything, and after that, Oedipus goes toward Jocasta and told him everything about it. Then Jocasta says that once an oracle made a prophecy that King Laius' son would kill him and marry his mother. In these lines, we see that die a victim at the hands of his own son. So, in order to avoid fate, they kill his son, and as well as King Laius was murdered by highwayman. So, Jocasta argues that Oedipus should not fear from that prophecy. She thinks that if she kill her own baby, then she could change her husband's destiny. She cheats her fate. So that's why Oedipus lie with her and produce offspring through her. Some other events regarding fate are when Oedipus came to know that he is not a biological son of Polypus and Merops by a drunken man, then he goes to Delphic of Oracle. But Oracle does not answer to his question, but says that he will he will murder his father and marry his own mother. So, in order to avoid this, he leaves the Corinth and goes toward the Thebes. Again, the strange twist of fate is seen when a messenger brings news of that Polybus had died a natural death, but he's still aware, he still fear from that prophecy. But he still fear from that prophecy, and he decided he will never go to Corinth uh, until his mother Merope is alive. Then messenger tells him that Merope is not Oedipus's true mother, and he gave him uh, himself with the help of another shepherd. And when Oedipus confirmed from that shepherd, he realized that he has not escaped his fate, and entire prophecy fulfilled. Uh, he blind himself, he exiled himself, he ruined himself, as Tiresias foretold. If we talk about use of stylistic devices here is, then we start from hamartia. It's a personal error in the protagonist's personality which bring about his tragic downfall in a tragedy. This defect in a hero's personality is also known as tragic flaw, and Aristotle used this word in his book Poetics, where it is taken as a mistake or error in his judgment. Now we will talk about events which are related to hamartia. First event, Oedipus decides to know the truth regarding his parentage. When he came to know that he is not a son of Polybus and Merope, then he goes toward them and asks from them, but they did not give him authentic answers. Then he goes toward Delphic of Apollo, Delphic of Oracle. Then Oracle does not answer his question and says that he will kill his father and marry his mother. This is Hamartia because he wants to know about his biological parents, but uh, Oracle told him a terrible prophecy. Another event related to Hamartia is Oedipus abandons his known parents in order to protect them. When he came to know that, in order to escape fate, mean to say, after hearing the prophecy from Oracle, so in order to avoid fate and in order to protect his parents, he leaves the Corinth. This is also Marcia because he wants to protect them. He wants to protect his parents, but actually they were not his biological parents. And next we will move towards hubris. Hubris, it's an exaggerated pride or self-confidence, often resulting in retribution. Or we can say that it's an arrogance shown by the character which ultimately brings about his downfall. Uh, Actually, it's a typical flaw for the personality of character who have authority, who have power, and as a result of which he overestimates his capabilities and he loses contact with reality. If we talk about Greek mythology about hubris, then we came to know that it's a great crime uh, that demands severe punishment. According to Greeks, a character who have authority, who is in powerful position, he became so proud of his exceptional qualities and he consider himself equal to God and he tries to defy gods and his own fate also. And events related to hubris include uh, Oedipus killed the stranger when he felt insulted. The first one event when when the Oedipus leaves the Corinth, he met the stranger around the crossroad where where one of the three roads lead to Theban. Lead to Theban. He met a stranger. Oedipus resembled with him, and the next is Oedipus resembles with him, and he's old enough to be his father. Uh, he presents insulting and challenge to Oedipus and challenge him right of way. The prophecy of Oracle was still in his mind, and he avoided killing of anyone, but he could not control his anger, his temper, so he killed the man. Instead of be polite, be kind, he killed the man, and this action fulfilled half of the prophecy, and this is hubris. And the second event related to it is Oedipus marries the widowed queen of Thebes. We know that Oedipus solved the riddle of the Sphinx in order to save the city of Thebes. Uh, the people of Thebes offer him the vacant throne as a reward and also for him uh, the widowed queen and also for him to marry with her. He know that there is a gap in age between them, but he accepted. This is hubris because he felt entitled to claim his prize. If he does not take this action, then his fate would have been different. And that's all about my presentation. Thank you so much.